Hello, my name is Peter Smith and I am president of VIBHOR, and I want to take a few minutes to just give you an overview of your signature line. First of all, it is what we call core diamond essentials, meaning not center stones, but otherwise the kinds of diamond product that ought to be in the conversation day in and day out, from band rings, both narrow, associated typically with weddings, anniversaries, etc., and also wider bands, and also pendants, earrings, rings, etc. The product itself is exclusive to you because by definition they cannot buy your store's signature line anyplace else. That is reflected in your displays, and it is also reflected in the rings, and the inside of the rings you'll have your store's name or logo. The product is made in the US, which gives us opportunities to do a number of things. First of all, completely control the quality, and we are obsessed with quality. Secondly, fast delivery. And third, the ability to custom. So first of all, let's talk about the quality. What we're producing is, your signature line is 18 karat gold. It is made of grade 1 metal, as determined by the World Gold Council, which means it's a whiter metal to begin with. That metal that alloy happens to be nickel free, right? We use palladium in the alloy, not nickel, so your customer is not going to be taking it off because the product is irritating them in any way, shape, or form. That is true of our rings, it is true of our pendants, it is true of our earrings or bracelets, etc. One bracelet actually is an exception because we buy a spring wire. But that would be the lone exception. Otherwise, it's completely nickel-free, and we're using the palladium alloy. The diamonds that we use are ideal diamonds. Forgive me. They're ideal diamonds. They are machine cut. They are GHSI, and I think if you take just a minute to look at the quality of the goods, you will find that they're actually better. We're comfortable saying GHSI, knowing that you will never overpromise to that customer. The worst thing that's going to happen is they'll come back and tell you that somebody told them that these were VS goods, and I think we can all live with that. So you've got ideal diamonds; they're machine cut. You've got perfect calibration, so you've not got one diamond which is sitting high, one diamond which is sitting low. GHSI, and again, the metal is nickel free. Everything that we do is available in yellow gold, in white gold, in rose gold, and also platinum. And then if your customer really likes even the Harry Winston type green gold, and they would like to have the ring executed in that fashion, not a problem, we can do it as well. So the quality is superb. Okay, it's not a cast product, it is a die struck product, meaning it starts its life as solid piece of metal, no pitting, no porosity, and it has a substantive weight and heft to it that you can really appreciate, especially if you hold it up next to a cast piece. It also means clearly that it's going to wear better over the long haul. From that standpoint, by the way, we have a 5-year warranty on absolutely everything. That's how strongly we feel about your signature product. The second thing in terms of the delivery is our delivery is 2 to 3 weeks, which is pretty phenomenal industry-wide because, again, every ring starts its life as a custom piece, and yet it's 2 to 3 weeks. When you have a pressing need for something, I don't know, let's say you've got an opportunity to make an important sale, an expensive piece, outside the norm typically, or you're in what I'll call a $500 hole. There's a problem, a customer issue, and you want to get some help with it. In those instances, check in with us, and we've been known to do things in 2 to 3 days and really help people out. Again, that should be the exception. The other area of the deliverable, and in fact it'll shift into the customer a little bit, is if you're working on an important sale and the customer not quite ready to pull the trigger, we can on occasion make a sterling silver and CZ version of it. Okay, so if that helps you close the sale, you can get a CZ and sterling silver version of the signature piece in, and then what we've had thus far is almost a 100% success rate when we've gone that route. Again, there should be real traction before we end up doing that. And also, by the way, that the customers end up wanting to keep the sterling and CZ versions as well as buying the carat gold version or the platinum version, just to have that backup and have that deal. So we have the tremendous quality, we have the fast delivery, and we have the ability to custom, not just making the CZ and sterling, but also when it comes to the rings, anything you can describe, the answer is yes. So if you're looking at a full eternity and wondering if it's in a half, yes. If you're looking at a half, wondering if it's a full, the answer is yes. If the customer has some crazy thing for, 1888s, number 8, and wants an 80% coverage, the answer is yes. So virtually anything you can describe from the ring standpoint, the answer is yes, we can do it. What else do I need to tell you? Oh, and also color stones, which are not always part of the standard opening order for signature. We have beautiful sapphire, ruby, savarite, etc. You will have a VIBHOR book that we give you that you can, other than the front page, really doesn't say VIBHOR except for some contact information inside, but you can open that book up and share with the customer, because it's all in retail. Everything is in retail price points. So you don't have to worry about, get rid of that, you don't have to worry about customers seeing wholesale price points. So you have customability both in terms of, the bands, in terms of stones, in, just about anything you can describe, again, we can do. And usually within that same 2 to 3 week period. What else do I want to tell you? The jewelry, all of the pendants come with a 22-inch adjustable chain. So you shouldn't ever have a customer come in and have difficulty putting it on. And specifically, that chain is also nickel free. So once again, if we're producing rings and earrings and they're nickel free, and then you're putting a chain on and it's got nickel alloy, the customer is going to have some issues wearing it, and we didn't want to have that. So your 22-inch adjustable chain, that in and of itself is all nickel free. And then there's some other really interesting details on the jewelry as well. For instance, the earrings, Leposette backs. So you've got that quality, sophisticated back, great function, great form, something you can be very, very proud of. So again, you have great differentiation on your signature collection. You have fabulous quality, right? 18K, nickel free, platinum, rose, yellow, all available. You have fast delivery, 2 to 3 weeks. You have customizability across the board. You have a 5-year warranty on absolutely everything. We do not have warranty cards, by the way, because we didn't want to call out any exceptions. So I think that's a strong sense of some of the key talking points on signature. A couple of other things I want to mention. Number one is for the balance of 2017, and I'm recording this in March of 2017, we will continue to support signature sales with American Express gift cards. So as a sales professional, you sell a piece of signature pendant, earrings, bracelet, ring, etc. For retail values up to $4,999, you get a $5,000, or excuse me, you get a $50 American Express card that will be sent to you, right? So up to $4,999 retail, you get a $50 American Express card, and we send them to you as quickly as we can. And for sales 5,000 and above, you get a $100 American Express gift card. So you've got an opportunity to have a little bit of fun and to make some extra money from that standpoint. Last couple of things on selling, just a couple of key points on selling. And then, by the way, I will shamelessly plug, if you want to a little bit more information on these, I've got 2 books. One, Sell Something, which is great for salespeople, and some of the ideas I'm going to give you now are further developed in there. And if you're an owner or a hiring manager, Hiring Squirrels, both of those books are available on Amazon. So selling signature, first of all, it's important to have your way to introduce it, right? So it could be as simple as, let me show you take a moment to show you our signature brand. It is exclusive to us. It is made right here in the US, and it comes in a wide range of price points. That's a very simple way of introducing it. It may suit some of you. Others, you may decide to find your own way. But I think it is hugely important that you have a sentence or two that you consistently use to introduce your signature brand to the customer. One that in and of itself begins to convey the value proposition. So once you've done that, you'll go through your sales process, talking about, tell me about the person you're buying for. That sentence, by the way, in and of itself is huge. Tell me about the person you're buying for. One, tell me about is important neurologically to customers, even though they're not always conscious of it. The person, you're asking them to tell you about somebody who we would presume was quite important to them. So that's another a big sort of unconscious deliverable. And then buying for in and of itself is huge because it sets the tone. It's called priming. And it sets the tone that there's an expectation, and there really ought to be on both sides, that they're in here to conduct to conduct business, not to kick tires. So tell me about the person you're buying for is very, 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 very big. So there's a couple of things I want to talk about, really four things. One, I'll start with the end. Ask for the sale. Always ask for the sale when you felt like you've earned it. It kills me to see people sort of start to just kick tires a little bit after they've done all of the hard work, and then sometimes the customer walks out because they don't quite know what to do thereafter. So ask for the sale. But in presenting it, there's two principles, two neurological principles, if you will, that I think are important to understand. One is the paradox of choice, meaning we want choice, right? We as consumers want choice. But the more choice we get, the tougher it is to buy. So I would say when you're presenting product, keep it to three. Right? Now, again, if the customer focuses in on a single product, go with it. But if you're using product during that sort of discovery process, keep it to three. It gives the customer options, it gives them the choice, it gives them the sense that they're in control, but you're not all over the map confusing them by showing them by what I'll call product dumping. And then attached to the paradox of choice is a principle called the contrast principle. And that means this: customer comes in, and in your early interaction with them, you find out that they want to spend, let's say, $5,000. It could be $500, it could be $1,000. Let's say it's $5,000. The three pieces that we would want you to present would be $5,000, about $7,500, and about $10,000. In other words, you've got three pieces. The base is the price point that they said they wanted. The middle one is about 50% above that, and then the third option is about twice what that initial baseline was. What we found in scenarios like that, when I say we, study of neurology has found, and especially in the last 10 to 15 to 20 years with the advances in neuroscience, is that customers frequently go to the middle. Right, so if a customer says, I want to spend $5,000, what we found is disproportionately they end up spending $7,500 if you utilize the paradox of choice, the three, and also the contrast principle, those three different price points. The other thing I want you to use or think about using is the idea that regret is an infinitely more important motivator to a customer, or at least avoiding regret, than looking like a hero. So for instance, a sentence as simple as this: this is a great choice. It's an important, let me start that again. This is an important purchase, and this is not a choice you will regret. In other words, you're presenting a specific product. This is a great choice, and it is not anything that you're going to regret. This is too important. Just finding a sentence utilizing that. This is a good choice. It's an important purchase, and this is not something you're going to regret, can be hugely impactful in terms of it resonating with that place within the customer that they're not particularly conscious of. And that's the idea that what I don't want to do in this jewelry store is look like a hero. What I want to do is not come out feeling like a goat. Okay, so that's the idea of regret as a motivator. So paradox of choice, contrast principle, and regret. So that's it. What I'll tell you again is if you want to explore more of those, that my book Sell Something is available on Amazon, and you can look at that. The last thing I'll leave you with is every time you sell a piece of signature, please know that you are supporting one of the great charities in the world. An organization called Jaipur Foot. Jaipur Foot is founded in India, and we are huge supporters of Jaipur Foot at VIBHOR. Basically, every single time you place an order, it generates a job bag. For every job bag we generate, we put a few dollars aside for Jaipur Foot, and then every year we send them huge, relatively speaking, we send them thousands of dollars to support Jaipur Foot. What they do is they provide limbs, arms, legs, etc. to people who cannot afford to buy them. They do an unbelievable job. Over the last X number of years, they've supported 1.55 million people for free, and in about 29 30 countries to date. So that's a fantastic organization that we support, so you can feel good about that. Also, I mentioned the American Express for you guys. So that's about it. Lastly, you can contact us at sales@VIBHORGEMS, sales@VIBHORGEMS.com. If you want to reach me, that's Peter@VIBHORGEMS.com. You can also follow me on LinkedIn if you like. On Facebook, I've got a Hiring Peter Smith, Hiring Squirrels Facebook page, and also Peter Smith at Hiring Squirrels on Twitter. And I think that's about it. Oh yes, and if you, I'm a columnist for National Jeweler, and so if you'd care to receive those columns, or see those columns rather, make sure that you support, you like National Jeweler's page also. Okay, so that's it. Thank you. I hope that you learned a little something about signature. Again, it's something you can be immensely proud of. Made